Once upon a time, there lived a girl named Kayla. She was a bright and curious child, always eager to explore the world around her. But Kayla had one weakness: she hated waiting. No matter what it was, waiting for her turn in a game, waiting for the school bell to ring, or waiting for her parents to finish work, Kayla found waiting to be unbearable. One day, as Kayla was rushing to school, she stumbled upon an old woman sitting by the roadside. She was holding a basket of apples and looked tired and weary. "Would you like to buy an apple, little girl?" the old woman asked. Kayla really wanted an apple, but the old lady seemed so slow. She didn't have time to wait around. "Not today," she said, and hurried off to school. Kayla's struggle with waiting wasn't an easy one. She often found herself frustrated, impatient, and prone to outbursts of anger. One day, while waiting in line at the post office, Kayla's impatience got the better of her. She began to tap her foot, shift her weight from one foot to the other, and mutter under her breath. The people around her started to notice, and some of them began to look annoyed. One man even turned to her and said, "Can't you see we're all waiting here? You're not the only one in a hurry." Kayla felt embarrassed and ashamed. She knew that her behavior was unacceptable, but she couldn't seem to control herself. That night, as she lay in bed, Kayla couldn't stop thinking about what had happened at the post office. She felt like a failure, a child who couldn't even wait in line without causing a scene. One day, while waiting for dinner to be ready, Kayla's patience was put to the test once again. She could smell the delicious aroma of her mother's cooking, and her stomach grumbled with hunger. "How much longer until dinner is ready?" she whined. "It'll be ready when it's ready," her mother replied calmly. "It takes time to cook a good meal." Kayla sighed and slumped down in her chair. She couldn't wait any longer. "But I want to eat now," she yelled. "You need to learn how to wait patiently, Kayla," said Mommy. "We are all tired and hungry, but we need to wait until dinner is ready." Kayla didn't want to hear it. She stormed off to her room and slammed the door. For the next few days, Kayla was sullen and distant. She didn't want to talk to her parents, and she spent most of her time in her room. But as the days went by, Kayla began to notice something strange. Everywhere she went, people seemed to be waiting for something. The bus, the train, the doctor's appointment. And they all seemed to be doing it with a sense of calm and patience that she couldn't understand. Kayla couldn't help but wonder how they did it. So, she decided to ask them. One day, as she was waiting in line at the grocery store, she turned to the woman in front of her and asked, "How do you do it? How do you wait so patiently?" The woman smiled kindly and said, "Waiting is a part of life, my dear. It teaches us patience and resilience. And if we learn to wait with grace and dignity, we can face any challenge that comes our way." Kayla thought about this for a moment, then nodded. She began to see waiting in a new light, not as a burden, but as an opportunity to learn and grow. As time passed, Kayla became better at waiting. She learned to enjoy the small moments, watching the birds, feeling the breeze on her face, and taking in the beauty of the world around her. She even began to enjoy waiting in line, as she could strike up conversations with those around her and learn new things. That evening, while she was waiting for dinner, she decided to play with her little brother. And when they were done playing, she went to her mom and said, "I am done playing with my little brother, but since dinner is not ready yet, I can help make the table." Her mother was so happy to have some help. Kayla not only made the table, but she also decorated it with some candles and flowers. Before she knew it, dinner was ready. And it was delicious. The next day, as Kayla was walking home from school, she saw the old woman sitting by the roadside again. This time, Kayla didn't hesitate. She approached the woman and said, "I would like to buy an apple, please." The old woman smiled and handed her an apple. "I'm glad to see you enjoying your day, my dear," she said. Kayla smiled back. The old lady was right. She was enjoying her day. She felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. She had learned a valuable lesson, that waiting was not something to be feared or avoided, but something to be embraced and enjoyed. From that day on, Kayla approached life with a new sense of patience and resilience. She no longer rushed from one moment to the next, but took the time to savor each experience and appreciate the beauty of the world around her. And in doing so, she found a new sense of happiness and fulfillment that she had never known before. Once upon a time, in the vast African savanna, there lived a magnificent lion named Leo. Leo was the king of the jungle, but he was also kind and caring to all the animals that lived in his kingdom. Every morning, he would take a stroll through the jungle, greeting all the animals and making sure that they were doing well. One day, as Leo was walking through the jungle, he heard a loud cry for help. It was coming from a little monkey named Max who had gotten his tail stuck in a tree branch. Leo immediately ran to his rescue, and with his strong jaws, he freed Max from the branch. Max was so grateful to Leo that he wanted to do something in return for him. Leo smiled and said, "You don't have to do anything for me, Max. I am happy to help you anytime." But Max was persistent, and he asked Leo if he could teach him how to roar like a lion. Leo agreed, and soon Max was roaring like a lion, albeit a small one. From that day on, Max and Leo became good friends, and Leo would often visit Max in his treehouse. One day, Leo noticed that some of the animals in the jungle were not getting along. The zebras and the wildebeests were fighting over the same patch of grass, and the monkeys and the baboons were bickering over the same banana trees. Leo knew that he had to do something to help them all get along. So, he called a meeting of all the animals in the jungle and explained to them that it was better to work together than to fight over resources. He suggested that they take turns grazing on the grass and sharing the banana trees. The animals thought this was a good idea, and soon they were all living in harmony. Another time, Leo noticed that one of the young giraffes, named Gigi, was feeling left out. She was too shy to join in on the other animals' games and activities. So, Leo came up with a plan. He invited all the animals to a big dance party and asked Gigi to be the guest of honor. Gigi was thrilled and soon found herself dancing with all the other animals. From that day on, she was no longer shy and started joining in on all the jungle fun. Through these adventures, Leo taught the animals in the jungle the importance of kindness, helping each other, working together, and including everyone. Leo was not just the king of the jungle but also the protector of his animal friends, and they all loved and respected him. And so, the adventures of Leo, the king of the jungle, and his animal friends continue to this day, inspiring children of all ages to be kind, caring, and inclusive of others. Once upon a time, in a far-off kingdom, there lived a little bear named Teddy. Teddy was a curious and adventurous bear who loved to explore the world around him. He was always on the lookout for new adventures and challenges, and he was never afraid to try something new. One day, as he was wandering through the forest, he came across a large tree that had fallen over. The tree was blocking the path that led to the river, and many of the animals in the forest were upset because they couldn't get to the water to drink. Teddy knew that something had to be done to help his animal friends, so he decided to take action. At first, Teddy tried to move the tree by himself. He put his strong paws to work and started pushing the tree, but it was too heavy for him to move on his own. Just as he was about to give up, he saw his friends coming to help him. First came the squirrels, who started chipping away at the bark with their sharp teeth. Then came the rabbits, who dug holes around the roots of the tree. The birds started to fly up to the top of the tree, and they began to push the tree in the opposite direction. At first, it seemed like they were making no progress at all, but they didn't give up. They kept working together, each one using their own strengths to contribute to the effort. Slowly but surely, the tree began to move. With each push and pull, the tree inched closer and closer to the side of the path, until finally, it was out of the way. All the animals cheered and celebrated, but Teddy felt a sense of pride that he had been a part of something bigger than himself. He realized that even though he was just a small bear, he could make a big difference by working together with his friends. That night, as Teddy was getting ready to go to sleep, he thought about the lesson he had learned. He realized that by working together with others, he could accomplish great things. He felt grateful for his friends and for the power of teamwork. Over the next few days, Teddy couldn't stop thinking about the importance of teamwork. He wondered if there was a way to teach other animals in the forest about the power of working together. He went around the forest, talking to all the animals he met, and told them about the power of teamwork. Some of the animals were skeptical at first, but Teddy used his own experience as an example and convinced them that working together was the best way to accomplish their goals. Together, Teddy and his animal friends organized a big event in the forest to demonstrate the power of teamwork. They built a treehouse, using each animal's strengths and abilities to construct the structure. The squirrels used their sharp teeth to cut the branches, the rabbits dug holes for the foundation, and the birds helped to transport the branches and leaves to the construction site. When the treehouse was finally complete, all the animals in the forest came to see it. They were amazed at what Teddy and his friends had accomplished, and they realized the importance of working together. From that day on, the animals in the forest worked together more often. They helped each other find food, build homes, and solve problems. And every time they worked together, they remembered the lesson that Teddy had taught them about the power of teamwork. And so, Teddy and his animal friends lived happily ever after, surrounded by a community of animals who valued the power of working together to achieve their goals. They knew that by working together, they could accomplish anything they set their minds to. The end. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Timmy who loved to play and have fun. Timmy was very curious and always eager to explore the world around him. One day, while Timmy was playing in the park, he saw a little bird who had fallen out of its nest. Timmy knew that the bird needed help, so he picked it up and took it home to take care of it. When Timmy arrived home, he proudly showed his mother the little bird he had found. But instead of being proud, his mother became angry. She scolded Timmy for bringing the bird home and told him that it was not safe to bring wild animals into the house. Timmy was very sad and confused. He didn't understand why his mother was angry with him. He thought he was doing a good thing by helping the little bird. Later that night, Timmy's father came into his room to talk to him. He explained to Timmy that his mother was not angry with him, but she was worried about his safety. He told Timmy that it was important to respect his parents' rules and decisions because they always have his best interests at heart. Timmy realized that he had not been respecting his mother's wishes, and he felt very sorry. He promised to always listen to his parents and to show them the respect that they deserved. The The next day, Timmy decided to show his mother that he could be responsible and respectful. He asked her if he could help with the chores around the house, and she was very happy to see that he was taking responsibility for his actions. As the days went by, Timmy became more and more respectful towards his parents. He learned to listen to their advice and to trust their decisions. He realized that his parents only wanted what was best for him, and that he could always count on them to be there for him. One day, while Timmy was playing in the park again, he saw a little girl who had lost her way. Timmy remembered the lesson that his parents had taught him about respecting others, and he knew that he had to help her. He approached the little girl and asked her if she needed help. She told him that she was lost and didn't know how to get home. Timmy took her by the hand and walked her home, making sure that she was safe and sound. When Timmy arrived home, his parents were very proud of him. They praised him for being responsible and respectful, and they told him how much they loved him. From that day on, Timmy continued to show respect and love towards his parents. He learned that even when he didn't agree with their decisions, it was important to trust them and to respect their authority. And he also learned that by showing respect and kindness towards others, he could make the world a better place. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Lily who loved to play in her garden. She spent hours chasing butterflies and picking flowers, and she loved nothing more than spending time outside. One sunny day, as Lily was playing, she accidentally knocked over her mother's favorite vase. The vase shattered into a million pieces, and Lily was scared of her mother's reaction. What do I do now? She knew that her mother loved the vase more than anything else in the world, and she was afraid of what would happen if she found out. Lily decided to hide the broken pieces in the bushes, hoping that her mother wouldn't notice. She felt terrible about what she had done, but she was too scared to tell the truth. The next day, Lily's mother noticed that the vase was missing and asked her if she had seen it. Lily lied and said, "No, I haven't seen it today." Her mother looked disappointed but didn't know what to do. Over the next few days, Lily's guilt began to eat away at her. She couldn't sleep at night, and her appetite disappeared. Her little brother noticed that something was wrong and asked her what was bothering her, but Lily couldn't bring herself to tell him the truth. One day, when Lily was sitting in her room, she overheard her mother talking to a friend about how much the vase meant to her. Lily felt terrible, knowing that she had broken something so precious. She knew that she couldn't keep the truth hidden any longer. Lily went to her mother and confessed that she broke the vase. Her mother was shocked and disappointed, but also proud that Lily had finally told the truth. Together, they went to the garden and found the broken pieces of the vase. Her mother explained that accidents happen, but lying and hiding the truth only make things worse. Lily realized that she had learned a valuable lesson about the importance of honesty, but she also had a brilliant idea. She decided to take on extra chores so she could earn some money and buy a new vase for her mom. She didn't tell her plan to anyone, instead she just folded laundry, took out the trash and helped clean the table every day. Finally one day, she went to the shop and saw a beautiful vase. Whoa! She counted her money and she had just enough. She got the vase beautifully wrapped up as a gift and went to her mom. "Mom, I have something for you," she said, "but before I give it to you, I just want to say that I know I cannot give you the old vase back, but I got you a new one, and every time you look at it, I want you to remember that I love you and I will never lie to you again." Her mom opened the present and she saw the most beautiful vase. Whoa! The fact that Lily had worked so hard for it made it even more beautiful. As time went on, Lily became known as a truthful person. Her friends and family trusted her, and she never had to worry about hiding the truth again. She learned that honesty was always the best, and that even though it might be scary or difficult, telling the truth was always the right thing to do. Years later, when Lily was all grown up, she passed on this lesson to her own children. She taught them that lying and hiding the truth only leads to more pain and suffering, and that telling the truth, no matter how scary it may be, is always the right thing to do. Once upon a time, in a magical land far away, there was a little girl named Lily. Lily was a curious and adventurous girl who loved exploring the world around her. She was always eager to learn new things and discover new places. One day, as she was wandering through the forest, she came across a group of animals who were gathered around a tree. As she got closer, she realized that there was a little bird stuck in the branches of the tree. The bird was frantically flapping its wings, trying to free itself, but it was stuck. Lily felt sad for the little bird, and she knew that she had to help. She tried to climb the tree, but it was too tall and she couldn't reach the bird. She tried to call for help, but there was nobody around to hear her. Just as she was about to give up, she noticed a spider crawling up the tree trunk. The spider was small, but it was determined. It crawled up the tree until it reached the bird, and then it started to spin a web around the branches to support the bird. Lily watched in amazement as the spider worked tirelessly to save the bird. Finally, the web was strong enough to hold the bird, and it was able to free itself from the branches. The little bird flew away, chirping happily, and Lily felt grateful for the spider's help. As she was walking home, Lily realized that she had learned an important lesson. She learned that even the smallest creatures can make a big difference, and that everyone has their own unique strengths and abilities. She thought about the spider, and how it had used its web-spinning ability to save the bird. She realized that everyone has their own unique talents and skills, and that it's important to use them to help others. That night, as she was getting ready for bed, Lily thought about all the ways she could use her own talents and skills to help others. She felt happy and inspired, knowing that she could make a difference in the world, no matter how small she might be. And so, from that day on, Lily made a point to use her own unique talents and skills to help those around her. She became known as a kind and helpful person, and she made many friends along the way. And whenever she felt small or insignificant, she remembered the lesson she had learned from the spider in the forest. She knew that even the smallest creatures can make a big difference in the world, and she felt proud to be a part of it. Lily woke up the next morning feeling inspired and energized. She knew that she wanted to continue exploring the world around her and making a difference in the lives of those she met. As she walked through the forest, she thought about all the different creatures she had seen the day before. She thought about the ants working tirelessly to carry food back to their colony, the birds chirping happily in the trees, and the bees buzzing from flower to flower. She realized that every creature had its own unique role to play in the ecosystem, and that every role was important. She knew that she wanted to learn more about the different creatures in the forest and the important work they did. So she decided to spend the day exploring the forest and observing the creatures around her. She watched as the ants carried food back to their colony, and she marveled at the strength and determination of these tiny creatures. She saw a family of deer grazing in a meadow, and she marveled at the beauty and grace of these majestic animals. She saw a group of birds building a nest in a tree, and she marveled at the skill and teamwork of these feathered friends. As she explored the forest, she realized that every creature had something to teach her. She learned about the importance of hard work and determination from the ants, about the beauty and grace of nature from the deer, and about the importance of teamwork and cooperation from the birds. And as the day turned into night, Lily realized that she had learned an important lesson about the interconnectedness of all living things. She realized that every creature in the forest, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, played an important role in the ecosystem. She realized that just as the spider had used its unique skills to help the bird, every creature had its own unique skills and talents that could be used to make a difference in the world. As she went to bed that night, Lily felt grateful for all the lessons she had learned in the forest. She knew that she wanted to continue exploring and learning, and that she wanted to use her own unique talents and skills to make a difference in the world. And so, every day, Lily continued to explore the world around her and to learn from the creatures she met. She continued to use her own unique talents and skills to help those around her, and she became known as a kind and helpful person who always put the needs of others first. And whenever she felt small or insignificant, she remembered the lesson she had learned from the creatures in the forest. She knew that every creature had its own unique role to play in the world, and that every role was important. And she felt proud to be a part of it. The end.
How do bees make honey? Do you know how much work it takes to make honey? Bees work hard to make the honey that is so delicious. Let's see together how the sweetest dessert of nature is made. Honey is a sugar which contains fructose and glucose. The bees that give us honey live and work in a large group called a colony. This colony lives in an extension and consists of thousands of female worker bees. They fly from flower to flower and collect a sugary liquid called the nectar by sucking it with their tongues. It then keeps the nectar in the stomach called the honey stomach, which is different from their food stomach. When they have a full load, they fly back to the hive. There they pass it on through their mouths to the other worker bees, who chew it for about half an hour. It's passed from bee to bee until it gradually turns into honey. Then the bees store it in the honeycomb cells, which are like tiny jars made of wax. The honey is still a bit wet, so they fan it with their wings to make it dry out and become more sticky. When it's ready, they seal the cell with a wax lid to keep it clean. From there, the beekeeper takes the mold with small boxes filled with honey and carefully removes it. They journey 8,000 kilometers to produce a pound of honey, and for that it has to be 556 small bees to visit over 2 million flowers. That is the amazing work that bees do. Now we can no longer complain about the homework we do after school. So, dear children, honey is a gift from nature. It is full of vitamins, minerals, and health benefits. In addition, honey even has many healing and antibacterial properties. So, dear children, the next time you eat the delicious honey, remember all the work that our hard-working bees have done to bring that honey into our homes. So much for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Wow! I can really hear your heartbeat. It goes like this, boo boom, boo boom. I think your heart is really big. Bigger than anything else. Is the heart the biggest organ in our body?
Hey, I heard you were wondering about something.
Yes, I was wondering, is the heart the biggest organ in our bodies? It's for sure so loud when I listen with my stethoscope.
Haha. Oh, you would be surprised to find out that the heart is actually not the biggest organ. The biggest organ in human bodies is actually, are you ready? The skin. Yes, the skin covers all our body and it protects us from microbes. It helps us regulate body temperature and allows us to feel the sensations of touch, heat, and cold. However, our bodies have more large organs like the brain, the lungs, the liver and stomach, the kidneys, and let's not forget the heart. Did you know that all organs in our bodies have a special function? Yes, let me tell you. For example, the brain. The brain is perhaps the most important organ in our body. It is the place where people think, feel emotions, make decisions, and even control the rest of the body. The brain is protected by a thick skull and fluid. If we touch something hot, for example, our skin will send the information to the brain that it is hot, and the brain will tell the hand what to do, in this case to move the hand away from the fire. All organs work together to keep people strong and alive. Then we have the two lungs. They are located on either side of the upper chest. They are major organs that bring much needed oxygen into our bloodstream. The main function of the lungs is the process of gas exchange called respiration or breathing. In respiration, when we breathe in, the good air, the oxygen, goes into the blood. And when we breathe out, the bad air, the carbon dioxide, leaves the blood. Isn't that amazing? Then we have the liver. The liver is located on the right side of the abdomen. It performs all sorts of vital functions in our bodies. For example, it helps us to break down the food that we eat and even getting our bodies rid of the toxins. Wow! The stomach holds our food when we first eat it and releases enzymes that help to break down our food before it goes to the small intestine. And then the heart, which is located in the very center of the chest. And its function is to keep blood flowing through all the body. Having a healthy heart helps to keep the rest of the organs and body healthy as well. The heart is like a pump that pumps the blood, sending oxygen all around the body. But how can our blood be clean and free of bad toxin? Well, that is why we have our kidneys. Our kidneys, dear children, are located in the back of abdomen on either side of the body, so one to the left, one to the right. Their job is to filter blood and take away all the toxins out of the body through urine. Without our kidneys, our blood would quickly become very poisoned. Fun fact time! Did you know that about 60% of your body is made up of water? And did you know that in one day, your heart beats about 100,000 times a day? Well, friends, isn't it amazing how our bodies have everything they need to keep us alive and strong? However, we also need to help them. Yes! Do you know how we can help our bodies stay healthy and strong? By eating lots of fruits and vegetables, by exercising and moving our bodies, and by going out to get fresh air. Alright friends, remember to like and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, stay strong and happy. Bye-bye! Hello friends! Today we are going to talk about something super interesting. Have you noticed how during the summer the trees are green and during the autumn their leaves turn into all sorts of beautiful colors? Well, at least in some parts of the world they do. While some trees stay the same throughout the whole year, other trees lose all their leaves when the weather starts getting colder. The trees that lose their leaves during the fall and winter are called deciduous trees. What is a deciduous tree? That is a tree that loses its leaves every fall and grows new leaves every spring. Each year, those trees go through a process in which their green leaves become bright yellow and then gold, orange, and red for a few weeks, and then they turn brown and fall to the ground. Well, we all love the beautiful colors of the leaves during the months of September, October, and November. But believe it or not, the trees don't change their colors just so we will have something beautiful to look at. There's actually a reason for the many colors of their leaves during the fall. Did you know that trees and other plants have to make their own food? Yes! They take the energy from the sun, then they take the water from the ground and the carbon dioxide from the air. With all these ingredients, trees make glucose, which is the sugar they eat in order to grow into strong, healthy trees. This process happens on the leaf. Yes, the whole process happens up there on the leaf because the leaves have something that is called chlorophyll that makes this process possible. Chlorophyll has also another jobs. It is what makes the leaves green color. So, as long as the leaves are able to soak up enough heat and energy from the sun to make the food, the leaves are green. That is why they are green during the summer, because they get a lot of sun. But what happens when the seasons begin to change and the weather begins to turn colder? Well, our lovely leaves get hungry, sort of. You see, when the seasons change in places where deciduous trees grow, the days get shorter, that there is less sunshine, and the weather gets colder. When this happens, it is harder for the chlorophyll in the leaves to make the food the leaves need to stay green. So instead of making more food, the leaves begin to use the food they have stored away for this time of the year. And as the leaves use the food that has been stored away, a layer of cells forms at the bottom of each leaf. These cells are spongy like a cork. Their job is to act like a door between the leaf and the rest of the tree. A door that closes very slowly and doesn't shut until all the leaves' food is gone. While this is happening, the colors in the leaves of the trees are able to show through. That's right, because the red, yellow, gold, and orange color are actually there during the whole summer. They are just hiding and cannot be seen because of all the chlorophyll in the leaves, which makes them green. Remember, Chlorophyll makes plants and leaves green. Once all the food is used up, the leaves then turn brown. They die and fall to the ground. But what about the rest of the tree? Well, you might be wondering how the rest of the tree keeps growing when the weather turns cold and the leaves die and fall off. Doesn't the rest of the tree need food made by the tree's leaves? No, not really, because the tree trunk and branches, they get their food from the roots of the tree. The roots supply water, vitamins, and minerals they get from the ground. Yes, trees need sunshine and warm weather to grow, but they also need time to rest. Kinda like bears who hibernate or sleep during the whole winter. The falling of leaves gives the trees a good rest from all the hard work of food making process and the feeding of leaves. Fun fact time! Did you know that the fallen leaves are an essential part of the forest ecosystem? Yes, they are very important because they provide protection for the little tree seeds that develop during the winter. So, the next time you see a tree with colorful leaves, you will know what process they are going through, why they will soon fall on the ground, and then new ones will come up again in springtime. So much for today, little friends. Remember to click like and subscribe to our channel so we can bring even more fun videos to you. Until next time, rise and shine!